You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello, how are ya?
It's Niall.
Ari.
And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of September the 14th to September the 20th, 2024. I wanted to say 2021 then for some reason. Wishful
Feels
thinking.
good.
I wanted to be back in another lockdown.
A better time to have
Starting with One Piece, 1119. The Entrusted Message, King Cobra's Resolve. So I was wrong. This was the bit about the D. It was this week, not last week. That was fascinating information already in my head.
I thought it'd be funny if the second season of Netflix was happening at the same time this shit's happening in the anime, because people were just like, I could probably just catch up now. It's like, oh my god, a lot of those characters I just met are in serious trouble. Yeah.
So this is essentially dealing with how Cobra actually died instead of Sabo killing him, why people think Sabo killed him, while Sabo knows that he's going to pass on to the rest of the revolutionaries, and also, that's the first half, a load of slapstick with Wapol and Vivi in the second half.
Yeah, I kind of forgotten how much they lean on that. And poor fucking Cinderella, man, she kind of gets forgotten. It's just like, oh yeah, that sucks for her, man. She was living the life and then it all went to shit from her perspective. So, yeah.
Yes, well, Wapol's running based on the fact that he knows and he doesn't want them to find out that he knows.
Yeah.
That's the reason why he's running away. It's not that they actually know that he knows.
I mean, he's the only other person missing at the thing of world leaders, and the other person missing is fucking Cobra, and they know what fucking happened to him. So they and there's like, hey, they could put one and one together and catch the cunt. Is what I'm saying. Yeah,
possibly, but also it is Wapol.
He's weirdly lucky, and unlucky at the same time.
Yes,
yeah.
And also he's been to one of these before and acted like an arsehole the last time he was at one of these, so they could just consider he's acting like an arsehole again. But yes, he knows he saw a thing he shouldn't see, and now he's got to run. And that thing was the 5 elders turning into things, Imu talking a whole lot more, and then turning into an even worse thing than the 5 things that the elders turned into.
Well, it's bad enough that a guy's sitting in the throne for the king of the world, which you're not allowed to do. We only built that throne so no one could sit in it. I was like, probably a bad idea to build it, but okay.
Yes, whatever Imu turns into, it's very big, and it has a devil-like tail.
Yeah, I didn't actually feel cop that from reading comic from it all. It's like, no, I think I was more focused on trying to figure out the shapes of the 5 dudes. It's like, oh yeah, I thought it's just like no menacing evil aura. Not thinking, well, maybe they're like showing off what they can do as well.
Yes,
until tonight.
I was the same. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, this scene reads so much more clearly in the anime to the point where it's like, oh, clearly they've been told extra information as to how all these things should be moving around.
And they know what the silhouettes of the guys are now, so they can make that pretty fucking clear.
True.
Yeah.
Remember, it's like sucking in your gut. And it's just like, well, geez, well, we're going to kill him, so finally, letting all the evil out. That's way more comfortable.
I think one of my favorite bits of that is kind of Cobra kind of looking as like, hey, no one's supposed to sit there, and then all the fucking 5 elders all pull fucking guns on him, except for the one guy with a sword. And I was just like, it's kind of like very low threatening stakes in comparison to the huge threatening stakes that it is. You know, turning into monsters is secondary to pulling a gun on him. Basically.
Well, it's like the worst villains and cowards. Throughout One Piece. They won't take you on one-on-one or in a fair fight. Nope, they're just gonna fucking gun you down the street. 5 elders just did it. Fucking Blackbeard did it as well. He's put all his boys in the shot down Whitebeard. It's like, it's a fun absolute scoundrel's way of fucking getting ahead.
Is that how Usopp gets away with it? Because he uses a slingshot, not a gun. because he's the coward with the shooting, but doesn't use a gun.
It's away at the gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
yes,
you can stop a bad guy in a slingshot, a good guy in a slingshot.
Yes. Yeah, I think you may be onto something there, given recent events in the comic when some people get shot in the back. Yeah. So we get the so the message that he passes on to Sabo is to tell Vivi and Luffy.
He also says the very short letter from Nefertiti D.
Lily, yes.
Lily. Because it's just like, oh, she had the initial, and what's the deal with the initial? It's like, anyone with that initial has opposed me. So, welcome. It's basically.
Yes. And something about the dawn as well is in the letter. That's the important thing. There's a D word in the letter. And Emu's complaining about how there's loads of people running around with D in the name, but they're just hollow shells of the people they're descended from. They don't know what it really means. And also, those scholars annoyed me, and these pirates are annoying me. And the poneglyphs, were they really randomly scattered, or did Lily do this deliberately?
Yeah. And the other thing is, obviously, Sabo is there listening into this stuff, and he's kind of like, I know two guys with the D in their name. Flashback to, it's just like they didn't give a fuck about their deed. One of the things I like about pretty much most of the heroes, with the exception of Blackbeard, who claims destiny and stuff, is they don't give a fuck about destiny. Luffy might be descended for greatness, but they don't care, and that makes it better. That makes it more acceptable that there is this grand scheme happening to them.
The flashback to the kids is one of the more fun bits of animation in the episode. And later on, when the Wapol stuff happens, there's some fun stuff there as well. Yes, and so obviously Wapol, we mentioned, saw all this happening through a hole in the wall. And he's like, oh my goodness, I should not have seen this.
I assume it was like he didn't poke a hole in the wall. There just happened to be a hole in the wall. It's like, what's going on in here? You know, he was just being a nosy cunt. And and now he's like, oh shit, I'm fucked. I'm dead. And all the security guard is like, sir, do you want us to escort you to the meeting? He's like, I gotta fucking get out of here. And he does his whole thing of eating his way out of there, because that's the only way he knows how to fucking do anything.
We get Shirahoshi's brothers trying to cheer her up by doing some dances, but she wants to know where Vivi is. And then we just get a little bit of like how Sai and Leo just said, yeah, we're the subordinates of Monkey D. Luffy.
We did this on purpose. Ha ha ha. And all the fucking world government guys going like, that's bad.
And this is when the Cypher Pole guys are related to Vivi, what's been happening, because they don't appear to give a shit about anything.
They're like, we're here to kidnap you. And she's like, what about friggin' Shirioshi? Is she okay? And they're like, why don't you give a fuck that we're kidnapped? Yeah, she's fine. Like, don't worry about it. Like, it's cool. Just shut up. Stay tight to a chair.
Yeah. Fujitora helped the revolutionaries let the slaves escape. And so got into a fight with the other admiral. So they get to recycle his transformation animation once again.
It's like a magical girl transformation to this stage where he turns into a big tree.
And as they're explaining all this, Wapol runs through the wall, eating everything in his path to get away.
And Evie's like, an escape, jumps in his mouth.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, the image of her poking her head out of his mouth is very funny. Yes, and then ends with Cinderella thinking that Wapol is eloping with Vivi.
With some young woman he's just picked up on the way, and it's like, that woman is hanging out of his mouth talking about how she wants to go on the run with Wapol, and she's like, oh, they're eloping! I can't believe! What a cad!
Whoa.
Yes, because he gets in touch with Morgans as his getaway. He'll give Morgans the story in return for getting away. And I guess this is where we can drop back out again, because next week it's a recap of the Navy.
Oh, joy.
The Navy. I think narrated by Garp this time.
Okay.
Oh no, sorry, no, I'm wrong. There's one more episode after this for us to talk about next week. Then there's the Navy. Sorry, I've already watched the next episode. That's the problem.
Okay.
So a good job I didn't start talking about that, as I've been wont to in the past. Then we've got the Elusive Samurai, episode 10, A Perverted Kid and the Disturbances of Holy Power, in which we try and get our divine being on Earth his divine powers back by building a Shinto priestess out of straw and stolen clothes.
The deal is like, I don't know how my powers come back, so I'm just going to do everything I did the last time my powers went away and then came back, and hopefully one of those things will cure me. So can you get me this specific kind of eel? And it's like, I guess I can ask my retainers to do that and keep it secret. Yeah, that's cool. It's like, can you do a bunch of really fucking shady shit that makes them think that you're into weird kinky shit? It's like, I can, but I'm not happy about it.
Like ladies' clothes, you have this doll made and all these ropes for fun, binding it up. It's like, I know the nobility are into some weird shit, but my lord,
yes,
aren't you a bit young for this kind of carry on?
And some of them are just like, yeah, fucking rich people are going to be real creeps. You can't really help it. We like him for other reasons, not for his weird sex things. Obviously he's a sex pervert, and he's just like, I hate this. I hate everything about this. You can't escape rumors, apparently, is the one thing you can't run away from. Dear.
And then he has to get some
holy water from a pond. Shizuku was there doing a very elegant dance. It's like, oh, I see you've caught me at a bad time.
I was just hanging out with my friends. Who? I was like, here, let me just smooch you on the closed eyes. There you go. Now you can see all the gods that hang out around here.
Yeah, it was like alluding to that. This is like, would be like one of the last times in history that people like felt as close to nature and the gods. But like, these things. Maybe they were true. Maybe someone did see a Tengu one time, and it's right here in this historical document. I mean, they wouldn't lie about that, would they?
I like comparing it like their thing of like basically holy power decreases as humanity starts to understand things. Like as humanity starts to understand things, be it science, and that basically kills magic. I like that in-universe explanation, but I also like the historical thing of like, these fucking priests got money for praying away the Mongols, like that kind of fucking. It's just like they got paid because it's like, good job, priests. You put the gods in our favor to win that fight. So here's your fucking payback. For that kind of. Like,
yes, it's quite interesting how there's
of that.
Yeah, it establishes initially that yes, there is divine things happening in the world we're currently in the comic, and then, as you say, gives this explanation where there's a streak of cynicism running through the explanation of of it, and then he goes on with his foresight to explain this is the last time this can happen because humanity will observe more of the world as time passes, and the more they observe of the world, the less they can see the divine because they're now no longer interpreting things which
they
can
won't
be
trust
observed
in the
as
unseen.
divine.
Yeah.
And it's interesting as well because like how I especially like when they're talking about the Mongol thing and he's like cut off screen or just got his voice scrambled. Yeah, and it's just like we totally
fucking still wearing the robes.
He's still wearing exactly the same fucking clothes, but it's just like to protect this Shinto priest as he's got his identity fucking obscured. But
oh shit, the people they don't believe in God anymore.
I was explaining this, it's like if we were in the modern world and puts him in the middle of fucking Shinjuku, it's like you as a criminal would be easy to fucking find. You'd be on every fucking TV in the world, it's just like you're grand. It'd be easy to fucking catch you. But the kind of criminals we were fighting just the last couple of episodes also wouldn't fucking last in that time, and that's it. So there's good and bad. Like in this world, you can survive, but in this world, this kind of war and this kind of horribleness won't fucking happen the same way.
Well, it's less like humans aren't like like leaving their fate like up to like a higher power. Like they don't we haven't got control over this. Like no, we can take control our own fate, control our destinies here. It means we aren't for good and bad. We're less reliant and maybe less reverent of some things of nature. But
it's cynical about it's cynical about how people assuming the divine in the past and how that's better that we get rid of that in the future. But it's also kind of cynical and we lose that. We lose the ability to see the divine in the world around us. But there's good and bad about that as well.
It's not romantic, is the thing.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. It's realist about both fucking sides of the argument, and it's really nice how it does that. Yeah. Also gorgeously depicted that entire fucking philosophical debate. Which is weirdly contrast to the very gorgeously animated, like, okay, now I need you to pretend that you're into all this king shit so they don't think I'm into all this king shit.
And then he says, "Oh, but I'm going to be divine forever." And his head starts glowing. There, he's got his powers back. And then this ice comes up, and he goes, "Yes, this could be mystical, but in future they're probably going to explain it as a natural phenomenon."
But until then, stay tuned.
Yes. And then we check in on the Ashikaga brothers, Takeuchi and Tadayoshi. We establish one runs on intuition, one runs on thought,
Facts and logic.
One's charismatic, one's like a really like deep fucking thinker guy. So one can work the people, the other one can manipulate the people, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And because this is the 1300s, there's no mental health care. So instead you have the intelligent brother hiding the fact that his charismatic brother is losing his mind from his followers. As we
Yeah, this is also
he's dangerously deranged. Yes.
This is also a scene where, like, it's this dude is seeing the divine everywhere, and no one should really be seeing that much divine everywhere. There's probably something wrong with him. And he's also kind of like presuming his own divinity fun, saying, "See, I've got fucking intuition from a higher power, man. It's telling me that we're gonna win this war."
Because his brother's kind of like,
the Buddha told me, I drew him on the wall.
I hid a treasure and I wrote this cipher for you to figure out, but you just intuited where I would fucking hide it, and you bypassed all my clever plans and stuff like that. That's why you're really important, and that we work really well together despite being very different. It's like, hey, bro, check it out. I painted a really cool Buddha. He's like, cool. Can I buy that off you? And I'll like sell you this wood for free if I can have that really cool painting of the Buddha. He's like, yeah, that's a great deal. Thanks, bro. And it's like, burn the entire building down. No one can see that fucked up painting of the Buddha he did. Holy shit.
They're going to keep the Buddha, just destroy everything else. And presumably don't let his followers see
surround us, yeah.
He's drawn a monster about to eat the Buddha. It's like, because he perceives the Buddha as prey. It's just like, that's not going to go well with the troops.
When we say prey to the Buddha, this is what we meant to Kauji. Come on.
It's not a poon.
Yeah,
this is a great effective sequence set for these two.
Yeah. And it shows how they could be like the heroes or the main characters in a completely different show. Like, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's showing as well, like, what is going on at that point. You get a kind of moderation or balance, when it comes to divine, when it comes to, like, being realistic and the fun. This guy is just like, it's making the point about, like, with divine power, you become either a god or a devil. And
yeah,
I think he's showing definitely like signs of what he actually is.
Yeah.
And the plot, mechanical, historical plot-wise here, is the key thing, is that he's sending Tadayoshi to go and protect Karakura because he suspects that it's going to be attacked shortly, and
that the Hojo survivors are going to rebel. His intuition tells him that, like, there's stuff happening there, so he's not fucking wrong. Yeah.
Yes. And is that where we leave it, or is there a lead into?
People just leaves it out there because that bit comes before Yorishige drinks the holy water and gets his powers back. Maybe he says apparently. Are you sure? Yeah, it's probably there. Don't worry about it.
It's mostly back. I can mostly see the future.
Yeah, another good episode. Good to have it back. I guess there's. Based on the next arc, I assume 3 episodes.
I think it's running on. Is it running on like for 26?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think Sengoku Youko is the only one which is running on. Because I was assuming it's just the next arc because of who's in the credits.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Then we've got Kinnikuman, Perfect Origin arc, episode 10, The Mountain and Akuma's Pride, in which we get the rest of the Budo versus Mountain fight, and a lot of background of why Buffalo Man's back, and peak that their Akuma Shogun is back, who is a character who should not be back based on previous history. I assume they'll go into that once he actually does something. We'll get some flashbacks there to explain.
It's wrestling. He sold his soul to the devil for power to come back alive.
Well, no, what he had, so he was Gold Man / Gold Mask, and he's got a brother called Silver Man / Silver Mask. And the last time they was seen, they merged together to form Perfect Mask. I think the word perfect being key props to where this plot is going.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think that's the thing. It's, if you didn't know the lore, like I did, the thing with Budo is like, hey, I know what your leader's deal is, and Buffalo Man's like, shut the fuck up, don't fucking tell anybody our whole deal, don't explain that to anyone. While he's beating the shit out of the mountain. Like,
judo, huh? Well, I'm pretty good at karate. I love like breaking blocks, like you're made out of.
Like, puts a crater in his chest, does a leg sweep where he sweeps off one of his fucking legs.
Yes. He kicked the leg out of his leg, for sure.
He's smashing his face so bad, he was seeing, like, you know, the I guess the underlying skull and eyeballs that are under the rock face. Was like, you know, like, he was going to, like, you know, oh, I'm going to do, like, you know, going to remove your children power and say, nah, I'm not going to vote. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die on my feet like a children.
Yeah, like, he was just like, you've proven your tenacity to me, and I'm going to be merciful and turn you into a human. And the dude's like, no fucking way, that's the coward's way out. And now I feel really bad for Urinal Man and fucking Ramen Man. It's just like, oh man, come on, they were trying their best.
Ramen Man didn't get turned into human because I'm sure he's one of the big guys.
No, sorry, it was the Urinal guy, and who's the other guy? Oh, the curry guy. That's it. I was mixing up my foods.
Yes, Curry Man. Yes.
Yep.
Ramen Man's a key character. He's resting up in the healing pods, so I'm sure he'll be back in one of the next. There's still like 3 more rounds of fights in this arc, so goodness knows how long this anime is going on for.
Yeah.
Well, at the fucking finish, it is like a bunch of other dudes bursting through the ceiling, saying, "We're gonna kick your ass, Kinnikuman, and all your buddies."
It's so funny because it's like, it's been, like, I think it's like a 50-50 split. Like, we've had 2 draws, two wins from the Akuma guys, and actually 2 wins. Because Kinnikuman won one, obviously.
Well, that's what's one for the Justice Children. Like, I suppose like the mountain strong the Buddha fights inconclusive because they're ringed. It breaks from its chains and plunges into the Grand Canyon.
Yes,
because Budo thinks he's killed Mountain, but then
because he's torn the fucking top of his head off, and Mountain's like, "Not yet, bitch," and knocks the ring enough that the rest of the chains break, falling into the Grand Canyon, presumably killing them off screen.
Yeah, so what we had Terry Man versus Max Radial, winner Terry Man.
Yeah.
Stochastic King versus Turbo Man, winner Turbo Man.
Yeah.
Because he shows up at the end. Mr. Carbon versus Crush Man, winner Crush Man.
Crush Man shows up at the end. Yeah.
Black Hole versus Meishi Man.
Black Hole is fine. He just walks in there, and I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, you need to sit down. You're filled with more holes than you should be.
See, like the front top of his head is all bitten up.
It's like, yeah, fucking hell.
He's
got a rabies shot.
He's going for a rest. I just need a 15-minute nap. I'm good.
Atlantis versus Marlin Man, a draw because they both died.
Yeah. That's still a win for the Akuma Chojin. They just have to kill them. That's their entire fucking deal. Yeah.
Kinnikuman versus Peekaboo. Kinnikuman wins and made a new friend.
And he's using him as like, we can still make the perfect Chojin pact because we got a perfect Chojin right here. Isn't that right, Baby Man? It's just like, Baby Man's like, I don't know. I'm still afraid Strong the Budo's gonna murder me.
Strong the Budo versus the Mountain. I guess technically Strong the Budo won, but then they fell into a canyon.
No contest.
He's not coming back for another round. There's no way he survived falling into the Grand Canyon. Sure. But what I mean is they don't have many guys left, which is why at the end is like, there's new perfect Chojin. Would you fucking believe? We had a bunch of other guys waiting in the wings. Because we ran out of a lot of dudes. Like,
one of them is like one of the heirs to the Muscle Kingdom throne. Like, Kinnikuman already went through. What the fuck are you doing here?
Well, no, I think this is a new person who looks like Kinnikuman.
Is it a different one? Okay, there's a guy who's just like him. Yeah, I suppose
they all
definitely. We do get that, like, Strong the Budo. Like, they thought he was I've forgotten his name now. Like you can change masks. You can
thought he
wear
was
someone
big
else's old
Debudo.
mask.
No. Big Debudo. I
That's
can see why I'm getting confused. I'm strong Debudo. I'm better. I'm strong Debudo. He's just big and I'm strong.
I'm also big, but
big.
like that's
but
unrelated.
that's obvious. I know you don't need to. That's just redundant. I'm big and I'm strong. So just so you know.
So you can wear like the new mask, and maybe that's similar to what's happened with the Akuma Chojin's leader that they keep going on about. But yeah, you can change masks. That's the thing that has been established.
Yeah, so we get a clear look at the guys we know coming back to about a crush man, and then a clear look at this guy who's clearly meant to go, well, that looks a lot like Kinnikuman, but he's green and he's kind of got like Jushin Thunder like eye pieces attached to his mask. So what's his deal? And then some silhouettes of, I guess, probably some real weirdos.
Yeah, I've seen the weirdos in the character announcement.
Okay.
I did like the flashback to the Akuma Chojin, like welcoming back Buffalo Man, and then all putting on their cloaks so they all look the same in silhouette at the start of the thing. Oh, it's so
it's
good.
The Cast King, you're not fooling anybody in that. I gotta try.
Yeah, and when Buffalo Man comes back and Black Hole enters, and it's like, the attention, and then Black Hole just gives him one punch, and it's like, we're all pals now. We're all back together. We're Akuma Choji once more. Yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes, because I can't remember if it was something I saw outside of the anime, or there was something last week. There's definitely stuff coming up where I'm like, were these guys reading Jim Starlin comics in the 70s? I think there's a pretty good chance. It's just like the increasing cosmic nature of things.
Yeah.
Does give me that vibe. But yeah, I think we're also going to get some of those guys out of hospital for the next bit.
Yeah, they're all coming in. I guess these new challengers are about to throw down as well and saying, well, we're part of this gang as well. Where's your boys? We're just got you. Just signed a paperwork to get discharged, but we're right here. Like, yes, the crowd goes wild. All your favorites are alive, actually.
Everyone's entrance plays at the same time. It's really cacophonous and no good.
I'm increasingly getting the urge to go back and watch the original
anime. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I think well, there's only a wait until January after this episodes here. So cool, getting this one, not sitting around on this. But in the meantime, I'll probably will just go back. It's just like I've got me a taste now again of this sort of ridiculous shit, and I want it back.
It's the most sublime ridiculousness, and it's just like, the fact that there's like so many years of it is just like, that's like a buffet waiting for me, it's nice.
Because it's so much true that it went over in episode 0, but then the end credits thing, it's cycling through so much stuff that the very kind of glossed over. Also really rad ending sequence too. Like I never skip the opening or the ending of this. I mean, that's I'm in this. I'm with it.
Because it's become like my Saturday morning cartoon. It's taken that Dragon Quest Die kind of thing where it's just like, don't skip the ending and opening, like really have a great time watching it, that kind of thing. Yeah, good crack.
Yeah, I love the preview music. It's just like a guy's going, whoa, 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 yow.
Then we've got MAYONAKA Punch, episode 11, announcement gone missing.
Yeah, MAYONAKA Punch are officially the channel of my dear friend Nokotan. The Nokotan's gone missing, and they're very concerned about the entire situation. I'm glad I watched this one first and then Nokotan. I think that was the correct order to do it.
Yes. So first Masaki goes missing, and then Levi goes missing.
Well, Masaki just goes on holiday. Like,
well, she runs off. Well, when she sees the bad words
comments
on the internet about her.
So they uploaded the footage of them from their drinking night. It's like, we buried the hatchet. It's like, but you did film me punching you in the face, which is the thing I got in trouble for in the first place.
So, like,
she's fine. Like, she didn't mind.
Well, sure, but it's also the way they presented it. It just makes her look like a massive dickhead. It's just like, you could have really that was an editing choice that you made. So You think so that to make it look like a dickhead and make fun of her. So thanks for that.
The shitty
Thanks for
comments are
nothing.
piling in. The haters are fucking piling on. The someone's made like a looping gif of her punching her in the face.
Of course they did, yeah.
Yeah. And also that punch from the backstage at the YouTuber con is circulating around, and one's like, "What? Oh, that was me. I did that."
Oh, some of this is my fault. Because then it'd be busted for fun. Come on, it'll be okay, Misaki. We can do it fun. Get away from me, fucking vampire. I hate you. It's like,
yeah,
she storms off.
She calls her as like a stupid bat or something like that, and that's the thing that gets to her. It
sets something off in her. It always comes flooding back.
So
she fucks off into the hot spring, It's just like, and wouldn't you know, just like in the Mustache and Esther is their top negative commenter who's always putting them down. Lonely
like currently
080
typing
girl.
in a negative comment on the fucking video.
Does she see me? Yep, she sees me. She recognizes me.
She recognized me.
Play this cool, Misaki.
Well, initially she's looking at her as like, oh, does she want to fucking start something? She's going to call me out for shit now. And she's like, hey, I'm your biggest fan. And it's just like, can I get an autograph? Maybe like a selfie. And it's just like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, that's what fans are like on the internet now, Misaki. They love to hate things. Like, you should have known this by now.
Yes, I think she has not processed fame, is what this episode
Yeah. Because this person seems genuinely kind of like, holy shit, it's that famous person from YouTube that I love commenting on their videos like an asshole. Like that part is just how some people enjoy media.
Because that's the kind of thing as well, like with all of this, like they fucking will deride people and they're like excoriated. Are you gonna go see the cinema? Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, it's like fun. It's just like, well, you like it then. You might want like better, but you might have like this is probably a way of trying to be constructive criticism on it, but it's not coming across that way. But no matter how bad it gets, no matter how bad it is, you're a fan of this thing and you will turn up for it.
Fandom was a mistake. Yeah. Like whatever I find there's a thing I don't like, I don't partake in it. I do something I like and enjoy. It makes me happy. It's easy, but some people really get a lot of kicks out of it, and Misaki has not figured that out yet. So yeah.
Yeah, that is the key part of her story here. And then the second part is them trying to find Levi and their harebrained scheme to help find her, and also to get their goal of 1 million subscribers at the same time.
Because the mother's updated the schedule by the time Misaki gets back, because they're not answering their texts. Like, what the fuck is going on? And the mansion's like about to be torn down. She's like, what the fuck is the deal? Yeah, mother moved the schedule up by a month, even though we had like a month and a week, and you've been away for a week or whatever she's been away for.
There are vampire hunters after us, it feels like this complete like change of like, she's gone for the weekend now, like society is broken down. They're just down the streets with guns.
So we got tonight to make it to 1 million subscribers. We have to get nearly 300k in
the middle of a typhoon.
Yeah, or in 24 hours, because it's a 24-hour stream they're doing. So yeah, they go to the same abandoned hospital where she first learned her love of streaming, and also first place she met her vampire pal.
This is where I came from.
Yeah, in two regards, where she came from. Yeah.
And also, Mother sent other vampires to hunt them down. Because well, first of all, the Levi's left home without telling Mother where she was going.
That's the main thing they've sent the vampires after them for, because it's like, you can't be a vampire on the run. We can't be eating people. We can't be on the run and not telling Mother where the fuck you are. I think vampires are very strictly controlled, like guns or something like that. Essentially, like, whoa, we can't be just eating people now. Come on, we're better.
Have you seen the films that made about us? Absolutely
Make
shocking
us look like real assholes. Yeah.
This is like what Jaws did for sharks. Let's get this, like, to see one film, get the entirely wrong idea about us.
And that New Zealand documentary, it's nearly as bad as the fucking New York documentary about us. Makes us look like total pricks.
That was frankly a caricature, an offensive caricature. You're hearing from my people.
And does it end with like the 5 sinister vampires showing up in robes?
Yeah, it ends with them revealing their plan of we're going to go on live and say we're all vampires, and the vampire hunters are like, oh, it's fucking on now. So like now they're going to be fighting in a hospital for 24 hours. 24-hour vampire fight is their plan.
Well, I'd watch that. That's if you've got to get subscribers and views. That's just the way to do it.
But Misaki's pointing out is like, but this is the hospital where she lost the last person that mattered to her 20 years ago. Went to sleep for 20 years. The woman fucking died in the hospital, and she's doing the same thing. She's probably went off and taken a nap. She's not going to see the stream, guys. This isn't going to fucking bring her back. She's went into a vampire Odin sleep. We can't wake her up.
But we gotta save the rec center. It doesn't matter about the rec center. We're gonna get killed.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a real final showdown. The stakes completely different from the cam. Like I went to a Holiday Inn to put myself back together, kind of thing. That was the first half. Yeah. But, everyone's in deadly danger now. So yeah.
And final episode next week. Or today, as we're recording it.
Yeah.
Chibi Godzilla Reigns Again, episode 24 of season 2, Easy Godzi Recipes, in which Rodan and Chibi Godzilla host a TV cooking show with Chibi Mechagodzilla doing the insert commentary like on Japanese shows, where essentially he's just
in the bubble, in the circle.
Yeah,
he's in the circle pointing out everything they're doing wrong, which is everything.
Chibi Rodan's mostly got it together, but he doesn't have the confidence to stop letting Chibi Godzilla take over his cooking show.
Also, he's a terrible presenter because
his cooking is good. His presentation is terrible.
Yes.
See the eyes reading the auto cue. Oh.
All these details are very vague. He keeps on covering up what he's doing.
Present the camera, man. It's the wings. The wings are getting in the way.
No, he just puts loads of bottles of oil in front of his chopping board.
He's so much olive oil, you can't see what he's adding to the pan.
It's
shot poorly too. Yeah, that's the other problem, I think.
You could add the bottles of oil as an ingredient because they've got enough residual oil in them, and we're monsters. We can eat glass. And what type of meat is it? It's animal. Also, kaiju are animals as well.
That's true. Like they're doing the little factoids good.
Yes.
And the contrast between Godzilla burning some vegetables at the start of the episode with his atomic flame, and then doing the little stream of flame at the cooker. They also have a cooker there, but they're using Godzilla's nuclear flame to fucking cook everything. They're bad. They're not good at it. Would you believe?
They're not good because it ends with them. You just do this and that, and your dish is finished.
It was one we had the interns make earlier.
Pretty much, yes. It's like,
it looks like really nice gyoza, but I do not know how they got there. So yeah.
What kind of animal is in this?
Animal or
mammal? You think?
Yeah.
They're more specific with the vegetables they use. That's for sure. That's
broccolini, not broccoli. Broccolini.
Oh, hang on a second. Dwayne's pasted the wrong title into the Sengoku Yoku episode title.
Oh, so I have.
It was.
Oh man, sorry about that. I must have just copy pasted.
Let me get that for you. Why is it not showing the fucking episode titles in history? Give me a little fecker. Senya's 80 years.
That's it. Episode.
Because they say it at the start of the episode. Yeah.
Or 23, as it is. Because it's not episode 10. That was Elusive Samurai.
That's me copy pasting again. Yeah, episode 23, Senya's 8 years, which is what they say the title in the fucking thing. What have you done for the last 8 years, Senya? Or basically, same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Learn some empathy.
Yes, and also I was made to train incredibly hard to do this one attack over and over again. So now I can do it a ridiculous amount of times in quick succession, Dad. How do you feel about that?
I do like his back and forth with the 1,000 Katawara inside him, where he's just like, oh shit, we're fighting a dragon. He can block like lasers with his bare hands. It's like, are they going to freak out? They're like, all right, let's fucking go. It's like, oh, thanks guys. Thanks for backing me up.
Pour it on. This is fucking fill him for the lead, spirit lead.
I also like the Mountain Goddess going, he's awfully sprightly for someone who's been standing up for 8 years.
The color commentary is pretty great.
This warming up, it comes back to you like right in the back.
Well, technically, he's been doing nothing, so he's raring to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what do you know? They're having father-son bonding, brawling session, explaining attacks to each other, where the Void people show up with an additional Void person who wasn't here last time. They're trying to make is it Taizen mad again? the two we've met before, and then this new
Yeah,
one.
they're trying to get control over him again.
His plan is to. So we've previously had Senya's dad possessing the powers of this dragon. Now it's the dragon going to be possessing the body of Senya's dad. But the old switcheroo of souls. Also, this kid, he seems younger than the other two, has come on to the idea of, okay, if I just turn myself into your supreme deity, you're just going to bow to me. That's going to break you much
That's
quicker.
Going to break your mind like that. Like, what's the biggest god you can think of? Matarasu. Well, I'll just turn into that, break your mind, bish bash bosh, we'll be out of here in 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems like the brains of this operation, all right. The other two just like are ineffectual again upon saying, "Oh, I guess we'll make some vague, threatening, little comments here before we get chased off again."
They're the ineffectual void people, clearly, in this episode. Yeah,
we act so cool when we do it, though. It feels like we did something actually of substances worthwhile. No, you did not. Get out of here. You're really irritating.
So yes, then they're like, should we get Senya? And the new one's like, we've got what we've got. This is good. We've got a Dragon Man now on our side.
Let's call it a W. We've got +1 here.
And it's just like that's still a fucking win, essentially. And we can get him later. We're not in a rush for this.
Dragon Man, I wanted a god. Dragon Man can buy many gods. Explain how. He punches them in a submission.
And the mountain god chasing him off of her mountain, which is herself.
Off of herself?
Yeah. She gets a kick in the gut for her troubles, which from a dragon, that's pretty bad.
Yes.
But this is where our heroine goes like, all right, I'm going to do bullshit to fucking actually be able to get away with all this stuff. And she already had a lightning sword, but now she's got a magic bottle that steals the life out of trees, I think. That's as far as I know how she's doing it so far, but yeah.
So she's got a magic sword and yes, lightning powers. And confronts them, and the new void person is like, I'm going to break you as well. Take you into the spirit world. Everyone's like, oh my goodness, what are they going to do? But she shuts her mind down, and then Senya's dad shows up, and her dad shows up as well. And they're like, we'll push you out the spirit world. People on the other side of the spirit world, you pull her out.
It's really nice as well, because her like going after a fucking dragon currently engaged in martial combat with a god, and she's like, I'll come to save the day. And it's just like, okay, it's like, dad, give me fucking strength. And then Senya's dad shows up and says, yeah, I brought your dad. He said,
you didn't say which dad, so we weren't sure, so we both came.
Yeah, and even when he's like pushed her out of the spirit world, he's like the stereotypical is like, oh, you're obviously going to go off with my son, so please take care of my son. That kind of like very traditional. It's just like, I get it. I see the fucking sparks here.
My father knows these things, even though he's sealed inside rock for 8 years.
It's him being like decent, like, because he was kind of a dick to Senya the entire fucking time. But the whole thing of him going like, oh, you're a strong woman, you can take care of my son, you're cool, I'm cool with you. But he's just harsh on his own kid, I guess.
Yeah, we kind of give some of his reasons when they're having the back and forth. The dragon is in trouble. He's only saved by having a talisman against lightning magic on his person.
Yeah. So he is not immune to lightning, so her plan initially, before she get putting into the void world, spirit world kind of thing, is I'm just going to keep shooting lightning at you until you run out of talismans, because you only have so many in your pockets. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, she's also got a cloak full of talismans. We see as well when she leaps into action.
She's brought all the cheap tricks, which is some of my favorite kind of magical bullshit.
She says this time. She says it's a load of cheats when people ask what she's doing.
Yeah. I think it was this sort of conflating something about this. Is just like, like there's things that like, they're beyond the power of our mortal ken or to meet or match up with. So what do we do in those moments? What has humankind done? We just cheat. We just like, we fight dirty. We use fucking like magic stuff to fuck them up with instead.
They didn't put 1,000 monsters in this young woman. They didn't give magical destiny or whatever. An old weird guy taught her how to fucking bullshit her way past everything. It's like, fantastic. That's all you need sometimes.
Yes, and he's moaning. He's another troublesome student. And then at the end, we cut to Yazan. He's like, oh dear, what a shame. The mountain goddess has got injured. She won't be able to break the seal. Just as I figured out how to cure Jinka of his madness.
Isn't that right, honey? That's right, honey.
That's right, baby.
Still,
you know I love you.
8 years later, and they're still on their bullshit. It's fantastic.
Still on the run.
I was waiting as well the whole time because Senya having that pipe and trying to fight his dad. Like the whole thing of him doing the really powerful attack 3 times, and you're just clocking him in the fucking jaw with his regular human fist. But I knew the dragon was going to put that pipe in his mouth, and it was going to look better on the dragon because he's got the mustache and everything.
I told you I get this back.
Yes, but I was wondering whether that means there's some of his dad still in there because
that's the thing. It's like it's the dragon controlling the Dragon Man body, but he does pick up the pipe and put it in. It's like, what reason does the dragon have to do that? He wasn't mates with a dog.
The dragon also likes dogs.
They were both mates with the dog. That's what united them. Dear.
Yes, because the dragon's complaining. He, as far as he knows, the last 2 people he saw before he got bound to him were the 2 guys who bound him into Gina's body, because that's who he's complaining about when we see him inside the spirit world. It's a lot of action, and it's definitely moving the plot along. I don't know who this new kid is, but he's definitely worse than more diabolical than the other 2 were.
Seems to know what he's doing, so that's trouble.
It does, yes.
It's the confidence and the effectiveness, I think, is the worry. Yeah.
Yes. Then the next thing on the docket is My Dear Friend Nokotan, episode 12. Farewell, Nokotan. Long live the Deer Club. So the serious stinger on last week's episode and the episode description of this week's episode.
Oh, the description is part of the fucking joke, man. That's so good. Beautiful stuff.
All lies. And the characters also complain what happened to the serious stinger from last week's episode. It is entirely ignored in favor of an episode-long Tiger Mask parody, along with a few other fighting anime, and also multiple cameos from
actual mascots
across Japan,
which all seem really nice, as mascots tend to do. And I think the reason why Nokotan does not stand up to him is she's more the Cheetan type of mascot, you know, the wild fucking rogue mascot.
Renegade.
Exactly, that gets in serious fucking trouble all the time.
Also, she has unjust confidence in her own abilities throughout the entire episode.
What was it called? Deer, the Deer Mountain, the Tiger Mask fucking training.
Deer's Den.
It was Tiger's Cave.
Tiger's Cave, Deer's Den. Yeah, sure. She left Deer's Den because the training was too harsh, so she assumes she's going to be stronger than all these other deer mascots who did not leave their training.
Yes.
So it's just like, no, you're going to be worse than them then, because they all fucking worked really hard to be really good mascots.
Yes. And yes, they're going to send mascots to challenge her, and if they win, she'll be returned to Deer's Den. And Mr. X from Deer's Den is there, along with his Deer's Den henchmen who wear deer masks.
I was getting vibes of your man off of what's his freaking name? Sakamoto Days. The deer head man, because they're all wearing those loose deer head fucking things and just wearing suits. They're deer goons basically.
Yes.
But the regular guy looks like an evil Speedwagon, I'd say.
He looks like Mr. X from.
He does look like. I mean, I'm just thinking because it's the top hat and it's the fancy suit. It's the threads I always consider. Yeah.
It's
most important.
Also, we had like some flashback, which are drawn in the 60s style, with even down to the coloring being spot on of like the trainees being hung from ropes over a mountain chasm, and they're all different mascot suits.
Different kinds of deer mascot. Yeah, so good. Also, the mascots are all animated really nicely in this episode. They all look fucking great. When they make that it's like a kind of rabbit that's dressed as a deer, I think is the mascot, the first one.
Yes, because the other irony is that none of these deer mascots are actually deers.
Well, they're not. They're mascots. They're people in suits. That's the purpose of. They're not deers. That's how a mascot works. It's not
a deer inside the suit.
Yeah,
but the characters are also not deers.
Yeah, like Nokotan. It's the perfect fucking.
She's a deer girl. It's similar but entirely different taxonomy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why she didn't get the suit. Basically, I think it was the end of her training.
The only one I recognise is the most famous one who shows up for the final battle.
Oh yeah, because all the audience member, everyone knows who he is. Yeah.
My God.
I did like the little kid deers as well. I thought it was like, oh, that's fun. They
Yes.
just recite like deer facts to you and stuff. Yeah, that's
So
nice.
the first one is a rabbit who's dressed up as a deer.
Hmm.
And then the second one are two children who are dressed up as deers. And then the last one is Sengoku, who is a character you likely recognize. He's like a young boy with the antlers of a deer.
Yeah, it kind of Buddha looking
City
as well,
mascot.
his style. But yeah, the first one against the rabbit deer, I can't remember the mascot names. It's a dance off using the same stage from the first episode. That deer rabbit can dance. Basically, it's a really nice animation. I was very impressed. The second one is a mind reading contest, so it's like a 2 versus 2 kind of thing, and they can just recite facts about the locality that they are the mascots of to each other, which is all their brain is filled with. So yeah, they're on point.
Yeah, so, and the joke for these first two, Niall, is that Nokotan is bad and loses, and then other characters come in and say, I challenge you now, and if we win, then you don't get to. This is being discussed as they're loading Nokotan into a cage. They agree to this, and then it's a draw. The other characters who come in don't even get to win.
But because the other guys don't win, that means technically we can't carry her off by the rules of the game. Like on the second one, they don't even win against them. I think the guys have to go to a child's birthday, as they're contractually obligated to.
So
you can't get out just by impairing yourself on a turnbuckle. No, none of that.
But the last one's just a fight, like in a ring.
Yes,
in a ring.
It's just a 5-round fight, MMA fight. Which one of the other running jokes in the episode is the narrator explaining that because it's the final episode, we have to involve every single character, and so the brother of the council member who owns the coffee shop, he's the referee for the match.
He doesn't understand why he's the referee.
He does not
the announcer
understand.
is just like, no, we got to bring everything in. You
seem pretty responsible.
It's shown in, everything's ramping up. We're introducing plot elements that we hadn't mentioned before. You know how these finales go. It's grand.
Yes, it's and then the second half is just multiple fights, most of which is just the first round and the fifth round. Because it's the second round as well. Because first round is a fair fight. Second round, she turns her antlers into nunchucks, knocks the referee out, and it turns into a brawl.
But I love their deer expert, that very specific guy that makes me think, is this an actual person? Like, he's a mascot expert, I should say.
Yes.
And he's just like, I like this girl's moxie. I'll allow it. It's just like, why? You said there was no weapons. That was the one rule in this match, and she's pulled fucking nunchucks out.
And the final round, she turns her head into a helicopter, at which point they go, that's how you got stuck in the pylons in the very first episode.
It all circles back.
My goodness.
So her plan is to fly around as a helicopter, throwing antler sticks of dynamite at mostly the audience, to be fair.
Pretty much
blowing up the whole cast, basically, yeah.
And then Sengoku does a very Tiger Mask-like attack. In fact, I suspect it may be just a Tiger Mask attack.
The thing about Sengoku is despite having to jump out of the air and knock out a helicopter deer girl throwing dynamite, he does entirely sumo, and it works. It works really fucking good.
But the leap is definitely not sumo. Hopping onto the
you got to go a little bit extra.
Yes.
His feet didn't touch outside of the ring when he did a fucking aerial jump off the top rope. So it's still technically sumo.
And he gets the win, but then Nokotan gives a speech full of lies that moves the judge so much that he declares it a draw after all.
I've learned a lot of things, and I've changed as a person, which means we both won. It's like, and the judge is like, yeah, I mean, that's a fair cop. She does not mean it. She's a fucking liar. But
and that's the end of the series. Yeah, I was fine for them to stretch the idea out of each episode because essentially it was 3 ideas anyway. Just
yeah.
Together.
And you did different jokes in it, like, so it worked quite well.
it was a good payoff to the series. Overall, I'm happy with the series. There's just about 3 episodes where it kind of was weak for me.
But it lost me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got Dungeon People, episode 10, Those Who Are Not Protected, in which we get an episode about disruptive players.
Fucking, that's exactly what I was fucking thinking. Like, no fucking PvP in my dungeon. No fucking PvP in my dungeon.
Why don't you over there have a hard man you are, don't you?
Oh, you want it? You want to take on me? Rocks fall, everyone dies. There you fucking go. How did you like that, bitch? It's like, don't fuck with the DM. The DM has established the rules of the fucking thing, and you fuck with it. You become murderers in the dungeon. All right. Now you're in trouble.
Well, now the party is cursed, and Kevin has got to go get us hot more beer. Go now. Sorry, it's in the game. You got to get us more beer now. Got to get.
It's particularly the line where she says the former master allowed it because he said it made it more like a dungeon, but I don't want to see it in my dungeon. And then she's like, "Oh, she said my dungeon." I don't think she said my dungeon.
Clay is actually happy to see her like kind of claim it for herself, claim ownership, have it be not a thing she's just continuing because it's the only thing she knows, but a thing she cares about and does in her own way as well. She even kind of mentions like, Clay, I know you murdered like a bunch of guys in the fucking dungeon, but that's not happening anymore. We're done with that now.
So the setup for this is the Adventurers Guild knows these 3 guys are murdering people in the dungeon, but they talk above ground that the higher ups in the Adventurer Guild won't do anything about him.
It's the idea is like, we're way better than the Thieves Guild. We got it all fucking together. Can we do anything about these murderers? No. It's I guess like that is a thing in like your they're the shop that are allowing D&D to run in, but they can't stop what happens at individual tables. It's just like, it's out of our fucking hands.
Yeah. So he's explaining this discussing with his subordinate. The subordinate comes out of the room, and then from behind his chair comes the head of the Thieves Guild. He goes, "So you want me to do something about it?" Yes. Please do
just a weird old man behind your chair who's been listening in on this entire conversation. But your man's like, yeah, if you could do something about it. It's like, Jesus Christ, how long has he been behind my chair? Fucking hell, that old man creeps me out. And he's just dressed perfectly normally, just hopping from rooftop to rooftop as an old man. He's a great character.
He sends a fax to Belle, and so then of course Belle knocks together some new costumes for her and Clay to wear together.
No, these are their fucking taking care of people who break the fucking rules of D&D thing. It's not just another excuse to dress them up in cute murderer themed outfits. It's black. It's a cute dress, but black. It's Clay wearing a little bow in her hair, but black. Because they're executioners now.
Yes, Belle describes it as execution costume outfits. And then we see this cleric character who spots the 3 guys who are the bad guys in the inn, and she's like, people say they're murderers, but they're murderers, just have like a bad reputation. But she says they seem fine. So when they approach her,
and they were helping people in the dungeon. They were like, hey, watch out for the goblins on early levels. If they can gang up on you, but they're being very helpful publicly against groups of people. But so she's like, my party disbanded. Do you mind if I team up with you guys? And they're like, yeah, cool. We could do it with a cleric. That sounds good because we got a wizard, we got a fighter, we got a punchy man. We're good. Yeah.
And what they do is they lure people into the dungeon, and then because of the rule that only one person can enter the
boss
room at a time, is until somebody leaves, is they lure people in, beat the boss, and then beat whoever their victim is. And they come across like more than murderers in their creepiness towards her, and then later towards Clay and Belle.
You figure it's the kind of people that Clay would have murdered in the dungeon before. Yeah.
Yes. But they are saved initially by golems, or she is saved initially by golems. And then the 3 run into the 5th level, where, and this is a great bit of animation, where they disappear one by one.
Because initially I saw the wizard disappear, and I was like, "Oh, did he just cast invisibility on himself?" Is the thing I was thinking, like, and it's like, no.
They're coming down the stairs, and there's an extra set of feet coming down behind them in the party, and then there's only 2 of them, and then there's only one of them, and then you actually see Belle Spirit Away, the final one, and then
level fucking 10. It's just like, welcome to level 10, motherfuckers. Now you didn't get here officially, so I don't have to fucking tell you my name. And they're like, well, can we get out of this? It's like, yeah, with violence, just like that's the rules of the dungeon. Try me, fucking try me.
Yeah, and this is where they're like, oh, they're women, so if they've got any sense of shame, if we shred their clothes, we've got an advantage over them because they never get a chance. Because the monk goes for Clay, and
Clay's only hindered in that Belle said, could you not chop off their limbs? Because when we turn them into undead later, always fucking recycle. It's if the limbs get chopped off, they don't attach properly again, and it's just like, oh, you don't want a zombie whose arm falls off and it's just or head falls off. It sucks. And Clay's like, gotta keep him like just body shots then, and yeah, okay, because she's so many opportunities to chop his fucking arms off, and it's like, well,
yes, because wins him, and then the fighter calls out to him, turns around, and he's just in a pool of blood. The sorcerer has legged it. And
so he's like, all right, Dungeon Master, how about we make a deal? I can be your eyes and ears outside of the dungeon. And she's like, yeah, that's an interesting deal. We got the Thieves Guild for that, so fucking die.
And also, like she says, you've already shown that you can't obey rules.
Yeah, that's the thing. You cannot be trusted. Why the fuck would I make a deal with you? That's stupid.
Yeah, and just throws her staff into his chest.
And and she's like, where's the wizard? He's like, oh, he ran off that way. And she's like, he's still within range. It's like, is he? That's way more than 60 feet. She's like, let me just pull out this little magical arrow, shoot that cunt, and like just blows half of his body away. Clay's like, didn't you say keep him intact? She's like, oh fuck, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. The cute to violence is always
nice.
appealingly shocking when it happens in this.
It makes like the violence is still like just blood smear, like no guts or viscera or anything, but it's in contrast, it comes across as so much harder for it with the general cute style of the show. Because the golems showing up are just like, holy shit, we cannot fucking put a dent in these guys. They're dynamite. And the golem's kind of like giving you the cleric back her mace that they took off her, and the golem's just like, get the fuck out of here. It's like just with a gesture of its hand, no expression. They're cute, but they can and will kill you if necessary.
It ends with her trying to leave the dungeon and running into the ice wolves.
Fangs, yeah.
And she's like, I know they're supposed to be trustworthy, but I don't know anymore. So
they're trying to be nice and friendly. He's like, hey, did you lose your party or something? And she breaks down and cries because she's safe now. And they're like, and you're, dude, you made her cry. It's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. They are nice guys. They're nice boys, just trying to do the dungeon regularly, obeying the rules. So yeah.
The other thing Clay notices is like, if you do that attack, you never tried that attack on me when we were fighting.
Play's like, so you could have taken me out that fucking easy. Your incantation was that fucking short. Yeah, I'd be fucked if you did that to me. Because she's like the whole time when she's enjoying being with Belle and also sizing up Belle, going like, she's very good. That's been a lot of the show as well. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm curious as to the timing of when the old master left and when Clay was adopted by Brands. Yes. Because it's just it's like, are Brands and the old master going to turn out to actually be the same person? Like he left to go pretend to be a human for a bit.
There was stuff like that feels about right, because I forgot to mention that we got distracted talking about it last week. The Wind Slicer's daughter, and I was like, I think the monsters are just describing Clay. Like that's her MO. You feel the knife penetrate your fucking body, and then you're dead. And it's just like, yeah, that's what she did. Like in the first episode to those fucking goblins. So,
yeah. I don't think we'll see any revelation in the final episode next week because it's still an ongoing comic and there's only been 5 volumes of it. So I suspect any massive revelations nowhere near being made.
Still having a good time though, so that's grand.
Have you watched any more Terminator Zero, Niall?
I have not just yet, no.
Okay.
No, I watched a bit more of that. God, what's it called? Rising Impact, the golf thing from a few months back. that's had now a second season on Netflix. The from the Seven Deadly Sins guy. He sure does like his Arthurian myths. Yes, because they've now introduced a guy called Merlin. That's as far, and Gawain has enrolled at Camelot Academy for golf.
If there's a golf club in the stone, they've gone too far.
I don't think there's a Bruce Lee golfer, which is pleasing because essentially the setup is this Camelot Academy only have 3 schools, one in the US, one in the UK, one in Japan, and so therefore the Japan school's got golfers from all around the world. And they're split into two classes. The first class we introduced to Gawain, and it's like there's some tension between them, but by the end, by the time the second class turned up, they've all become friends, so now they can all argue with the second class, who are a bunch of jerks. That's where I am, is little Gawain was shut in a cellar by one of these jerks, and so the Bruce Lee guy had to rescue him from the cellar using martial arts. I don't think we've seen him golf yet, so I don't. But I was pleased.
It's going to be like 2 clubs attached for a length of chain.
Gotta be, I was just thinking he was going to punch and kick the ball, but that's so much better, Niall. Yeah,
That's what's in pro golf. That's what the pro golfer Saru Bruce Lee golfer has.
That's a similar thing as going for, I would imagine.
Yes. But yeah, the fact that they translate Pudiske, the nickname that one of the characters gives him, as Squishy Joe, I was like, that's a good bit of translation, because almost everything Gawain does makes the Pooty sound effect. He's very squishy. Everything he does goes squish. And so calling him Squishy Joe.
Big Teen Titans Go fan there.
Yes, it's initially an insult, but they've become friends, so now it's an affectionate nickname he's got.
It's also good that it's not only a great bit of localization, but it's good that it's a terrible nickname translated into another terrible nickname.
Yes.
Like that's really good.
Meanwhile, Lancelot, he cannot go to this school. He was invited by Merlin, but he must earn money for the surgery, so to restore his sister's eyesight.
I thought we were going to say surgery to restore his golfing ability, because that happens sometimes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they had to go up against the Green Knight. You got to cut off his head with a golf club, and then 1 year later he's going to cut off your head with a golf club.
Well, you see, Wayne, you are spot on, because would you believe his sister, also a top golfer? She can't golf.
Yeah, I call it.
She have terminal yips.
Man.
Pretty much. Yeah, I don't think I watched anything else relatively new this week. I think that was the lot. So we'll be back next week with things slowly shutting down.
Yep.
Before all the new stuff starts. Most of it all airing on the same day, I've noticed.
Yay! Must see Wednesdays are back.
Could be. Whatever day Dan the Dan's on. There's an awful lot of other good things on that same day.
Appointment.
I guess I don't technically have to watch that for 3 weeks. So I'll just leave you.
Well, it's just resting your laurels.
Yeah. Yep. If there's some laurels to be rested on, I'm going to rest on them. That's for sure.
I've already seen it. What would you guys think about it?
Right, yeah. I'll remember to say exactly that when the time comes. Okay, that's it for this week. Ta-ra for now.
Bye.
Later, Gators.